Good afternoon, everybody. This is Alex Namath and Laura Lester here with Encore Memory Care Day Center. We want to talk a little bit about joy. Is that right, Elisa?
Yeah, joy and laughter are such a part of the center here. So I was wondering if maybe you guys could talk about why laughter is important in caregiving.
Yeah, I think laughter is important in life.
Yeah.
And one of the things that oftentimes we see our caregivers being robbed of, and also the people with the disease, is joy in their lives because everything looks gloom and doom, right?
Insurmountable.
Yeah. You've never been educated in doing this. You never thought it was going to happen. You thought you had your roadmap to retirement all scheduled and ready to go. And then you're blindsided by, unfortunately, the disease of dementia or any other kind of dementias. So we've got to reintroduce that joy back in your world. One of the ways to do that, of course, is you've made the first step, hopefully in bringing them to a day center so that they can enjoy the benefits of that, and you can enjoy that as well. But still, you're going to have a lot of time with them alone.
Yeah.
They're only here part of the day, and there's nights and evenings and weekends and all the other times. So we're going to really lean on you a little bit to make sure that you're as joyful as you can be around your loved one. What's the expression with that, Laura?
Laughter's the best medicine.
Also emotions.
Emotions are contagious.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we just hammer here is if you are, one of our core values here is spirit of happiness, because we want everybody that works here to be happy, because we know that emotions are contagious, and we want our guests to feel that emotion, that happy emotion, every time they walk in our door. So we just think it's super, super important that the people that are caring for people with dementia realize that emotions are contagious and try to keep your emotions as high as possible, and that will make your life so much better and their life so much better as well. It's just for me, I have to say that this job is fulfilling. It really is. When I was taking care of my own family, I never thought I would say that, but honestly, taking care of your family is very fulfilling to me. It gives me a great fulfillment. And I think you will feel that way also if you just learn this one simple thing. Joy is important.
Yeah, kind of let go. I mean, part of the reason you're not joyful is that you're so guilty about the whole thing, and you're mad, you're angry.
Yeah, there's a lot of
things
grief.
Didn't go the way you wanted them to go.
There's grief.
So it's hard to be joyful all the time with all the pressures that you have. But again, back to Laura's point is, if you're joyful, they become joyful, and now you've got a better experience. You're enjoying eating together again like you did in the old days, or going for a walk like you did before. But we acknowledge that we can't be joyful all day. Even people without the disease aren't joyful all the time. So you owe it to yourself. It's okay to take a break. If you've got to put them in front of the TV for a minute and go to the back room and read a magazine or cry or whatever you need to do at that point to make yourself feel better about what's going on. We recommend at our center that, if it was anywhere near 5 o'clock, there may be a beverage that you might want to enjoy to make yourself feel a little bit better the day that you're having. And they're having a mocktail, you're having a wine tail, and the two of you are enjoying the day as best you can. But keeping that contagion, and then reminding the people that come to the house as well. We don't want them feeling terrible about, look at what's happening to dad, because that's so hard. You imagine the daughter coming to the house and seeing their dad now not behaving like he did just 6 months ago or a year ago. Well, the best thing she can do for dad is to present a joyful face. Put that smile on for dad. It's the little things. It's not the big things. It's not the big, long stories. It's the short stories. It's the grandkids. It's talking about the things that they enjoyed that they did in life. Those are joys, and those bring those joys back to the surface again. So now they're feeling better about their day, and everybody ultimately gets lifted up by them. I would have times when my dad would lift us up. He'd say some of the funniest things to us,
My brother too.
We're like, I forgot about that, And so then we'd go down that path that he remembered that we could enjoy together.
Unfortunately, my brother would have it peppered with some vulgar language, but it was fun. Another thing, this is off topic, but we might want to cover TV. because people at home need to be very careful with TV, what they let their loved one watch. Because eventually their loved one is going to start thinking that what's happening on the TV is happening to them. It's very common. And so if they would just be very careful what they watch on TV, we recommend even comedies, even though laughter is so important, a comedy may be too much, because with a comedy, it's like this happens through the plot, and then this happens and it's funny. Well, they've forgotten all these prior things that have happened. So a comedy movie's maybe not a good idea. Funniest home videos might be good. This happens, boom, it's funny. Or music, any kind of music, a musical, even if they can't follow the plot, the singing and dancing will keep them entertained. I just would avoid anything violent or even the news, because it's so negative anymore, because eventually it's going to really have an impact on me. You never know when that moment's going to be. So I would just be very careful with what was on the TV.
Well, the one we always like to have, is some sort of photo album. They have that available. Because typically they're going to be photos of, or you should have photos of the past that they can remember, people that they may remember, or more likely events that they remember. So it's the camping trip. It may not be the specifics about camping trip. It's not an inquisition of, do you remember going camping?
Right.
It's talking about camping in general. Isn't camping a wonderful thing to do? Staying outside and outdoors. Wouldn't that be fun if we could do that today? Boy, it's cold out there. What do you think we'd have to wear if we went camping today? And now you've got a whole conversation going around something that they're comfortable with. They almost brought it up because they found it in the book. And obviously they'd like to talk more about it as well.
If I had a dementia patient living in my home now, I would always have some sort of background music going on all the time. Because music is really the only thing that stimulates every part of the brain. So it's very good for them. And even if it's not loud music, even if it's just in the background, I think the more music, the better. Don't you?
Oh, absolutely. It's actually, whether you have dementia or not in life, the ability to listen and understand music is the last thing that happens. Like Laura said, it's stored in multiple parts of the brain. So it's not affected by just frontal temporal lobe or some other part of the disease process. And it brings back emotions, right? So if it's music that they love from the old days, then they're going to picture themselves back in the old days. Whether it was rock and roll that they like. I'm sure that's what my wife's going to be playing for me my last couple days. It'll be Chuck Berry doing Johnny B. Good again and again and again. But that's something I can identify with, and everybody has their genre of music that they like. But make sure it's not overpowering. You don't want it to be so loud that it's a distraction.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that it's out there.
Just kind of in the background.
Kind of calming, kind of like in the restaurant where they have music going. The idea is to keep everybody else's conversations to themselves. And this way they can focus more readily on you without hearing cars and trucks going down the street or whatever other environmental things that may be going on at the same time you're trying to engage in a conversation. And I would encourage music not only just playing at home, but take them to music venues too.
Yeah.
If music was important to them as well. Find out who's playing, who they used to like to go see, or who they would like to see.
And we have music incorporated in almost all of our activities. We will incorporate music every chance we get.
Sure do. So what do they happen when they start playing music? Everybody gets up?
Everybody or sings along or whatever. Like we'll even do Hangman, and maybe we'll do musical Hangman, is what we call it. And once they figure out the name of the song, we'll play the song and we'll sing along.
That's right.
So music is excellent for the brain. Excellent.
Right.
It almost seems like, too, every time we play music, there immediately follows laughter and smiles.
Yeah.
It kind of just goes with the territory.
That's right. And the other thing they do is get up and start dancing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
We have some very active people. They do some dancing.
So there's no reason why just the two of you can't get up and do some dancing to the music that you're listening to.
That's right.
Because again, it's going to bring up emotions that have been buried or not talked about or sensed for years that all of a sudden remembers how to do the foxtrot and had done it for years. Well, I think the endorphins, right? They talk
Yeah.
about endorphins in bodies, right? And endorphins are let loose when you laugh.
Yeah.
And there's no question in your life you want to be around people that are happy.
That's right. So that's what you hear. Laughter's the best medicine. They say that for a reason.
That's right. So it's even more powerful now that you've got someone that's obviously compromised mentally, with the disease process, that they continue to experience that joy and laughter with everywhere they're at, and as often as they can. Yeah, I would tell you, again, anecdotally, and Laura's heard the story, but I love being in front of my people. So I always, every day when I owned my own center, I was up there for the half an hour before lunch, and I would do jokes that were specific to people, so they were slow in coming, and of course everybody would laugh. Now sometimes I'd almost have to tell them when the punchline came. My wife reminded me that they were laughing at you more than they were the joke. But the point of it was, right, it put them in a great mood, getting ready to have lunch then. And then we would all, and at those points we had 30 and 40 people. We'd have everybody lined up, heading down there, and of course they're singing When the Saints Come Marching In or some song, heading to the dining room. So that's about music, and that's, again, about joy. So find those moments of joy. There's lots of books out there about joy that you can follow up on as well. So when you think there isn't any, there is. There's opportunities for it. All right. Thank you for listening today. Please share with friends and family. Take care. Bye-bye.